Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. Tonight is the 23rd night of Ramadan and it coincides with the night of Jum'ah. And there are a lot of messages being spread on social media and messaging platforms in where people are saying that if an odd night falls on the night of Jum'ah, it is more likely for it to be Laylatul Qadr. And then they will bring statements from, they will try and bring statements from Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Rajab and others. First and foremost, there is nothing from Ibn Taymiyyah on this whatsoever. Sheikh Sulaiman al-Majid was asked about Ibn Taymiyyah saying such things. He said there's nothing from Ibn Taymiyyah on this whatsoever. Ibn Rajab, on page 203 in his book Laylah al-Ma'arif, he quotes another scholar who is Ibn Hubayra. So it's not even Ibn Rajab that's saying it, he's quoting Ibn Hubayra. Ibn Hubayra says, وَإِن وَقَعَ فِي لَيْلَةٍ مِنْ أَوْتَانِ الْعَشْرِ لَيْلَةٍ جُمْعَةٍ. If there is an odd night and it coincides with the night of Jum'ah, فَهِيَ أَرْجَى مِنْ غَيْرِهَا. Then it is more likely that it's hoped that this could be Laylatul Qadr. However, what we have to do is understand this statement for what it actually is. The Permanent Committee of Senior Scholars, Imam al-Shawkani, even before this discussion here that we're having right now, Imam al-Shawkani, rahimahullah, he talked about this some 200-300 years ago, where people were specifying the first night of Ramadan or the last night of Ramadan if it coincides with Jumu'ah. And he said that this is something which has become prevalent in Sunnah and it's not found in the books of Hadith whatsoever. The Permanent Committee of Senior Scholars, Sheikh Muhammad Salih al-Uthaymeen, Sheikh Salih ibn Fawzan al-Fawzan, all of these ulama have been asked a similar question, and as we have just quoted here, Sheikh Sulaiman al-Majid, one of the scholars in Saudi Arabia today, all of them have said there is no evidence for this whatsoever. So what's the principle in this? The principle in this is to specify a time for an act of worship requires dalil. So if a person was to say the 23rd night, if it coincides with Jumu'ah, it's more likely, you need dalil for that. Otherwise, we leave it as it is, as the Messenger of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us, to seek it in the last 10 nights. Ibn Hajar, rahimahullah, in his Fath al-Bari, he says, Laylatul Qadr munhasiratun fi Ramadan. We know that Laylatul Qadr is in Ramadan. ثم في العشر الأخير. Then we know that it's going to be in the last 10. ثم في أوتاره. Then we know that it's more likely in the odd nights. Then, beyond that, we don't know anything. لا في ليلة منه بعينها. No night can be specified. No night can be specified. If a person wants to specify a night, then he needs dalil. If there is no dalil for it, then it becomes a bid'ah. And this is from the fatwa, from the ulama we've just mentioned. Therefore, then what is the statement of Ibn Hubayra? What does it mean? It means that this is an encouragement. This is an indication, but not a prescription for you to now specify one night above others. And this is something that people do also. They will specify the 27th night. Yes, there are many narrations from Ubay ibn Ka'b and others who have said that it is more than likely that it's going to be on the 27th night. However, does that mean you only worship Allah on the 27th and you have acts of worship on the 27th and you specify the 27th or the 23rd if it coincides with Jum'ah? None of this has any kind of evidence for it whatsoever. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes us of those who meet Laylatul Qadr with Iman and Ihtisab. Wallahu a'lam. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.